Okay, so the AI race is moving at an absolutely breakneck speed. You've got giants like OpenAI and Google who seem to be one-upping each other every single week. But is this really just a race to see who can build the smartest machine? Or is there a deeper, more strategic battle being waged just beneath the surface? Let's dig in and figure out what's really going on. I think we all kind of assume this is a pretty straightforward fight, right? Whichever company builds the most powerful, the most intelligent AI model, well, they win. It just seems logical. The best technology should always come out on top. But what if it's not quite that simple? And look, you hear this kind of thinking everywhere. This perspective right here, it perfectly captures that popular idea. We see a new model like Google's Gemini come out, it feels a little faster, maybe a little better in some ways, and the immediate conclusion is, aha, the tide is turning. This idea that it's all about model versus model combat is the very premise we're going to challenge. To really get what's happening, we have to start by looking at a major, and I mean major, strategic shift from the company that basically kicked off this whole frenzy, OpenAI. They're making a move that tells us this game is way more complex than just building the smartest AI in the room. So while all of us have been laser focused on the consumer side of things, on ChatGPT, OpenAI has been quietly turning its attention to the world of big business. They're shifting from just making a cool tool for everybody to play with to building powerful, practical applications specifically for large companies. And this really signals a key realization inside OpenAI. Making the model smarter and smarter isn't by itself a complete business strategy. Raw intelligence just isn't enough. They have to build useful, practical applications on top of that intelligence for the corporate world. And that's exactly where they're putting their focus now. And listen, this isn't just some short-term project or a little side hustle. The reporting suggests that enterprise is going to be a massive priority for OpenAI by 2026. This signals a really fundamental long-term change in their whole strategy. It's clear they're playing a different game now. So, if OpenAI is pivoting away from just the smartest model race, what's the real battle about? Well, this brings us to the absolute core of our explainer today. The central conflict isn't just about who has the better model, it's about something far more fundamental to winning in business. This is the key insight. Once the models get close enough in quality, and believe me, they are getting very, very close, the deciding factor becomes something else entirely: distribution. It's not just about having the amazing tech, it's about how you get that tech into the hands of millions or even billions of users. So, what do we really mean when we say distribution? Think of it like this. It's the built-in superhighways a company already has to deliver its products. And for Google, this is their absolute superpower. They have Google Search, they have the Android operating system on billions of phones, they have the Chrome browser. They can push their AI to a massive global audience almost overnight. And this really frames the central conflict perfectly. For a long time, OpenAI had the undisputed best model. That was their tech edge. But Google has always had the distribution edge. That's the real battleground: groundbreaking technology versus an unparalleled, planet-spanning platform. Let's just look at the numbers for a second, because they tell a fascinating story. ChatGPT, as the first mover, built up this huge user base. But look how quickly Google's Gemini is catching up, already at 600 million users. How did they do that? Not necessarily by convincing everyone they had a better model, but by leveraging that incredible distribution network to get Gemini in front of people fast. And you have to understand, this strength is just baked into Google's DNA. Their CEO, Sundar Pichai, literally built his career on distribution. He was a key figure in projects like the Google Toolbar and the Chrome browser, initiatives that were all about getting Google's services onto as many devices as possible. He is, for all intents and purposes, the king of distribution. But wait, it gets even more complex. The battle isn't just a two-way street between the best model and the best distribution. Turns out, there are other critical fronts where this war is being won and lost. According to analysts, there are at least 3 other areas we have to be watching. First up, user experience. Basically, how fast and easy is the thing to use? Second, access to compute power. That's the raw horsepower, the servers and infrastructure you need to run these giant models. And third, how well it performs in really valuable specialized areas, like writing computer code. Let's talk about that user experience for a second. Anyone who's used both has probably felt this. Gemini often gives you results that feel instantaneous. ChatGPT, especially the more advanced versions, can sometimes have that slow, deliberate thinking mode.
For your everyday questions, that speed from Gemini can be a massive advantage, no matter which model is theoretically smarter.
And in that race for specialization, a crucial third player is emerging as a real leader. When it comes to the incredibly valuable task of writing and debugging code, a lot of developers will tell you the winner isn't OpenAI or Google, it's a company called Anthropic. And this just goes to show that you can achieve dominance by being the absolute best in a powerful, specific niche. So, where does all this leave us? Well, it paints a picture of a competition that is far more dynamic, far more messy, and way more wide open than most people realize. The finish line is absolutely nowhere in sight. Yeah, despite all the breathless headlines and the constant hype, the simple reality is we are in the very early innings of this revolution. The winners have not been decided. The rules of the game are still being written as we speak. And it is definitely not a two-horse race. It's a crowded, complex battlefield. You've got the main players we've talked about, OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. But then you've also got Meta with their own powerful models. You've got Grok from xAI. And you have the massive cloud and corporate titans like Microsoft and Amazon who are making darn sure they will be major players in this game. And all of that leaves us with the ultimate question. As we watch this race unfold, what should we really be paying attention to? Is it the raw power and the sheer intelligence of the technology itself? Or is it the clever strategy, the mastery of distribution, the intense focus on user experience, and the dominance of specific niches? Maybe, in the end, the real winner won't just be the smartest, but the wisest.